So, welcome to this episode, and today we are joined by Dr. Ozaz, and we will discuss about alcohol use disorder. So, Dr. Ozaz, why do people get addicted to alcohol?
So, to understand this question and to answer this, we have to first know how alcohol acts in our body. So, a person first consumes it, it goes via mouth, it goes to our blood, and then it goes to brain. So, brain has a center. Let's leave the name out of it because we all know it's boring. So, let's assume that a bulb is kept there. Now, basically, what alcohol does is it comes and it lights that bulb. The only thing that we have to know about that center is that we feel happy when that light is lit. So, as alcohol comes, that light bulb is switched on. So, as we go on, we love that feeling. So, what happens is gradually the amount of alcohol required to produce the same feeling increases, and for that what we do is we increase the amount of alcohol intake to reciprocate that feeling, and then on and on and on. So this is how a person who starts alcohol goes into a stage where he has to take alcohol. So this is the basic neurobiology behind it. Yeah, and this is how people get addicted to this alcohol.
Okay, so if a person takes alcohol once, his or her body will need more alcohol for subsequent days also.
Yeah, so more alcohol for subsequent days to produce the same effect. In fact, that effect is known as tolerance.
Okay.
Yes,
So once you develop tolerance, you will not be satisfied with the same amount of alcohol.
exactly. And that is why people who start drinking, 25% of them land into alcohol use disorder.
Okay, so we will come into this, Dr. Ojha. So what is the alcohol use disorder?
So, going back to the bulb model, what alcohol use disorder is the mental health disorder caused due to alcohol intake. To understand it clearly, we have seen the neurobiology of alcohol. So, alcohol use disorder has broadly four features. The first one of them is tolerance, as we have already discussed. Now, you could imagine that if we like something and if that thing is removed, we would crave for it. That happens with us for many things like food, like drinks, and going on and on. So this effect where we crave for that substance, where we want that substance if it is removed, is called craving. So this is the second effect of alcohol use disorder, or a second feature of alcohol use disorder. The third feature is that if that substance is removed completely from our body, we would produce some reaction. It would be in the form of psychological, or it could be in form of physical features. So this term is known as withdrawal. This is the third feature. But for me, the most important part of an alcohol use disorder is its effects on our life. Now, it could be health effects, it could be social effects, it could be financial effects, it could be any way in which that substance affects us. So, if that is present, it is like a likely sign that we have alcohol use disorder. So, these are the four broad features to sum it up.
Okay. So, Dr. Ojas, what is the magnitude of alcohol use disorders in India?
So, going via the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare report, in approximately 16 crore users of India, approximately 6 crore users are problematic users. That is, a certain problem exists in their life because of alcohol intake, which can have numerous forms, and 3 crore are dependent users. So, the magnitude of this problem is huge in India.
Okay. So there, the alcohol use is very much common in India, and it affects a lot of.
Not only alcohol use, but the problems caused by it are very common.
Okay, so there are a lot of related issue when the people consumes alcohol.
Exactly.
What are the consequences of alcohol use?
So, I like to describe consequences of alcohol intake by a beautiful model which is known as a pebble in a lake effect. So, as pebble in a lake, when it is put in a lake, it produces many ripples. Alcohol intake by a person not only affects that person individually but affects their family members, their community, and our country as a whole. Now, to tell the effects of alcohol use, we could divide it into two parts. First, the effects caused to an individual. The second would be effects caused to the community. Now, coming to an individual level, the first and obvious effect is effect on health. Now, the health effects, as we doctors also sometimes know ki we know everything, but our knowledge in this subject is also limited. For example, one of the major things that we associate with alcohol is alcoholic liver disease. But did you know only 16% of deaths caused by alcohol are related to alcoholic liver disease and cirrhosis? In fact, 33% of deaths caused by alcohol are due to heart attacks and strokes. Approximately, there are 200 diseases in our body that can be caused by alcohol. So, the effects on health are numerous, of which one of the major issue is alcohol use disorder, and we seldom see it as a mental health issue, which it is. We often tend to see it as a adat or something, but it is a disorder, it is a disease like diabetes. So we have to treat it like one. So this is the effect on health. The second is obviously financial effects. In fact, the poorest person in India also, if he is drinking alcohol, also ends up spending 100 rupees per day on an average, which is huge. If we compute it, it comes to around 1000 rupees in 10 days, 3000 rupees in a month, and 36,000 rupees in a year. This I am talking about the poorest man in India consuming alcohol. So, regardless of the financial status, they end up spending a lot of that portion on substance use. This is the individual financial effect. Now, we go on to the mental health burden. Now, studies have shown that people with alcohol use disorder also have tendencies to develop other psychological comorbidities like anxiety, like depression, and we go on and on. So it has a major burden on it. In fact, alcohol is one of the most common causes of suicides also in our country. It is one of the most common causes of domestic violence in our country. So yeah, it has considerable effect on mental health and other social factors. The next effect would be obviously the effects on domestic violence. The alcohol counts for a huge number of domestic violence cases in India. So yeah, these are the effects on individuals. And coming on to the accidents thing, 33% of road traffic accidents are caused by alcohol. So it's a huge number, and to give you a broader picture of its effects on individuals, approximately 40 million people die every year because of alcohol.
Oh my God. So
In the world, yeah.
Okay, so it's mostly due to alcohol liver disease or alcohol related deaths?
Alcohol related deaths. And as I said, the liver disease part only constitutes 16% of deaths caused by alcohol, according to the Global Health Report published in Lancet, Global Burden of Disease of 2014.
Dr. Ozaz, what is the root cause of alcohol use disorder in India?
So, as everywhere, one of the root causes of alcohol use disorder is the culture and tradition in which alcohol is so imbibed. Like, it's a reflex as even college students that if you are coming to college, if you are above 18, you have to try it. So, one of the things that we fail to understand many a times is a person who suffers from alcohol use disorder, or a person who faces consequences because of alcohol, never starts with 5 drinks. That person always starts with a drink in a party, as we all do. And the fact is, if 10 people are starting today, 2.5 or 3, 25% of them, yani out of 100, 25 people will end up with alcohol use disorder. And currently, there is no way of knowing that if 10 of us start, who will go into that. So is it actually the risk worth taking?
Okay, so alcohol use disorder starts when young adolescents try it for the first time. They just experiment it, but it becomes their habit, and they are not able to get away from it.
So, talking about in terms of duration, when a person starts alcohol, it takes approximately 13 to 14 years to develop alcohol use disorder, and it happens gradually. To take an example, any time that you meet a person who drinks alcohol, just ask him this question: how much did you drink on the first day when you started alcohol, and how much do you drink now? There will always be a difference, because this is what neurobiology says. This is what is the concept of tolerance. Because that difference exists and it is increasing always, it goes on, and the person gradually starts facing consequences, which is ignored in the early phase, then more ignored, and then he or she actually lands in alcohol use disorder. It takes 14 years. Now, when we talked about addictivity of substances, alcohol lighted that bulb. I hope everyone remembers that bulb. Now, the magnitude with which every substance lights that bulb is very different. For example, nicotine lights it the brightest, and alcohol comes third or fourth in number. So we can even see people getting dependent on nicotine even in a matter of few days. That's usually not the case with alcohol. It can happen, but that's usually not the case, and it takes usually years to develop alcohol use disorder. Yeah, so starting that drink to that course is a long pathway, but the fact is people who come out of that are also limited. Like, actually people can come out, but the success rates or treatment success rates of alcohol use disorder are pretty low, even for the best of rehabilitation centers and even for the best of treatments. So, and that is very difficult also. So, like, the question pertains like what decision should we make? And to give you more clarity, like a paper published in 2016, which is the largest ever study done in Lancet, told that the safest level for alcohol consumption for your health is 0. So, like, it's a matter of an informed decision that we have to take.
Okay, so once you start drinking alcohol, it usually takes a long time to develop into alcohol use disorder. But that doesn't mean it is easier to get away with it. So it is always advisable for young people not to start this. Yeah.
And even alcohol use disorder isn't the only consequence because of alcohol. For example, a person might drink occasionally. It might have been 1 or 2 years, but that person ends up binge drinking in a party. That also has effects. Now, binge drinking is often defined as intake of 5 or more standard drinks. So, standard drink is a concept where we quantify the level of alcohol for a particular drink. We don't need to go into details, but binge drinking also has dire effects. So, even if that person is taking occasionally, and if we binge drink, so it might have consequences. And again, we have seen that accidents, 33% of accidents happen because of alcohol. Many crimes happen because of alcohol. So alcohol use disorder is only one consequence of taking alcohol. It doesn't mean that till the time he or she develops alcohol use disorder, that person wouldn't have consequences. They will have.
Okay, Dr. Ojas, what is the role of family members in alcohol use disorders?
Yeah. So to answer this is a bit difficult, because the role of family members in the surroundings that we are in plays a huge role in person using a substance or a person not using a substance. So I would start with family members of people who use substances. One thing that I would advise first is, don't give them the guilt of using substance. Now, a person using a substance, as we saw, it's the nature of that substance to make that person dependent on it. Now, in this scenario, I ask you a question ki, who is responsible for all the consequences that happens because of a substance? Is that person responsible, or is it because of the nature of our society that that person got exposed to that substance at such an early age, that person made a decision without proper information of using that substance and ended up being dependent on it? So to empathize is the first and the main function of a family member or a caregiver or a friend even. So this is one. Second is to talk openly about it. Now we have to create an environment where person who uses substance feels safe to talk to us, and this is the time where we can empathize with them. This is the time where we can explore that do they want to decrease their substance use, or what are the reasons for them using substances. Now in this, like, I emphasize on this because actually according to a GATS report in 2019, 55% of smokers actually wanted to quit in India. 55%. Now if two people are smoking, the chances are that one wants to quit. So we have to keep an open mind regarding this. The third thing is, so there is something called as enabling when it comes to family members and substance use. To give you an example, for example, if there is a father and a son, now that son is dependent on alcohol, but that father loves him. Now this son tells him ki the only thing that is giving me joy in this world is alcohol, is parties, and I don't want to do anything else. That is, he is economically dependent on him at such a age where he shouldn't be, and the only thing that gives him joy is alcohol. Now the point is ki if the father now decides to support that guy financially, that is actually crippling him. This behavior where the father's actions are enabling the use of substance for his child is called enabling behavior. It could be in the form of money, it could be in form of behavior. For example, a father could send out his son to buy cigarettes for him. So this is also enabling. So we have to try our best to not motivate them or to encourage them to use substances at the very least, and importantly let them face the consequences of substance use. So when we face those consequences and when we come to realization that we need to make a change, that is the time we will make a change.
Okay, so if anybody wants to come out of alcohol use disorder, so it is very important that that person should understand the gravity of the problem. Then only it is possible for him or her to get out of it.
And that problem is very tailored to that person. As we saw, there can be varied consequences of substance use, but what happens to that person, is specific to that person. And even when we counsel people for substance use disorders, one of the thing is motivational interviewing, where we explore the person's own inner motivations to reduce the substance use. So it's very important to not enable them, to motivate them to decrease their substance use. And the next thing is, don't ever talk to them when they are inebriated or when they have used substances. Wait for the next day, wait for when they are out of the effects of the substance use. So this is the role of the family members in the life of people who are using substances. Now one of the huge responsibilities of a parent would be to make this information available to a child when he is of an average age to start using substances. To give you an example, the average age of starting alcohol in Australia is 14 years, and that is considered to be one of the highest in the world. So the average age of alcohol consumption is decreasing year by year. There has been a study done in Kerala also, which also told that the average age of people using substances has decreased to as low as 14 years. So we also need to act fast, and we need to trust our children and our members of the society to make an informed decision, because as far as I am concerned, it's a more important decision than deciding what college to take. because it can have dire consequences on our lives.
Okay, so very important to educate the child from younger age the demerits of alcohol.
More important is to talk to them openly, like why would they feel, because one of the very important thing that promotes substance use and initiates substance use is peer pressure. So we also need to tell people on how to manage peer pressure, what is it, so that becomes an important topic to be discussed.
Okay, Dr. Ozaz, thank you for coming to this session and explaining a lot about alcohol use disorder. Thank
It
you.
has been my pleasure, thank you.